17-year-old influencer gunned down for insulting El Mencho. The combination of his childlike appearance and his brash, clownish demeanor was very entertaining to the crowd. Nonetheless, it was simple to overlook that he was still a child. He drew a beard on his chin to make himself appear more mature. He has tattoos on both arms, one of a pirate and the other of a tiger. He used Instagram to show photographs of himself with large guns, ladies with only half their clothes on, and expensive cars. Yes, we're talking about Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales. Famous for his films of excessive drinking that went viral, and in this video, we're going to talk about this 17-year-old influencer gunned down for insulting El Mencho. This is CrimeFlicks, your #1 stop for crime stories. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales was born in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, which is known as a Mecca for drug gangs and is also the home state of the infamous drug lord Joaquín El Chapo Guzman. Lagunas was raised without ever learning about his biological father. His mother gave up custody to his grandmother when he was a child. According to statements made by Lagunas in an interview he gave in July, he left his birthplace when he was 15 years old and did not complete his high school education, traveling to the nearby municipality of Culiacan and earning a living by washing cars. In this adopted town, he first became known by the alias El Pirata de Culiacan, which literally translates to the Pirate of Culiacan. This nickname would eventually become well known across cyberspace. Soon after, he found himself invited to an increasing number of parties, and before long, he was drinking to excess on a regular basis. He'd upload videos to social media showing him drinking beer and bottles of whiskey, and he'd often come to the point where he was so drunk that he passed out. The videos quickly gained widespread attention. In the years that followed, the teenage binge eater became a disturbingly popular figure on YouTube. He had more than 1 million followers on Facebook by the time he was 17 years old, and more than 300,000 followers on Instagram. Because of his popularity on social media, he began to be invited to appear in music videos and at promotional events. Although the legal drinking age in Mexico is 18, El Pirata de Culiacan appeared to have no control over his drinking habits. He lived his life as if he was invincible, saying whatever he wanted about anybody he wanted, as is typical of many teenagers. Everything about it felt like a big game or a big party. But in Sinaloa, one of the most dangerous states in Mexico, no one is untouchable. This is especially true if they cross the wrong individuals. A recent uploaded video to the internet shows Lagunas, who appears to be under the influence of alcohol, attempting to attack Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho. According to experts from the United States government, Cervantes is the boss of the new Generation Cartel in Jalisco and is considered one of Mexico's most dangerous drug lords. He insulted El Mencho by saying, "El Mencho on me peo la verga," which can be translated more or less as something offensive. If you are very curious about the meaning of the phrase, we suggest that you search for it. On Monday night, as Lagunas and his friends were celebrating at a bar in Jalisco, a gang of armed individuals stormed in and fired shots at Lagunas. According to the Attorney General of Jalisco, Raul Sanchez Jimenez, who was quoted in the Mexican media sites, the adolescent suffered between 15 and 18 bullet wounds before succumbing to his injuries and passing away. The authorities were able to identify Lagunas based on the tattoos that he sported. The identity of the individuals responsible, as well as the motivations behind their actions, have not been identified by the prosecutors. Nonetheless, they verified to many news outlets that they are looking into a possible connection between the latest videotaped insult directed towards El Mencho and another incident. Offending El Mencho is one of the most challenging things a person could do. So, are you excited yet? Well, stay till the end of the video to learn more about this incident and El Mencho. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications whenever new crime-related videos are posted. So let's move on and talk about El Mencho. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, also known by the moniker El Mencho, is the head and creator of the Jalisco cartel, New Generation, He is also responsible for transforming the once novice criminal gang into one of the most powerful cartels in Mexico. As a result of this, he's become one of the most sought-after criminals in Mexico. El Mencho, the leader of the CJNG, directs the organization's drug trafficking operation via the states of Jalisco, Colima, and Guanajuato. These are the states where the cartel is a significant participant in the trade of meth. El Mencho may have ordered the murder of several Mexican leaders. In March 2013, a suspect in the assassination of Jalisco's tourism secretary, Jess Gallegos Alvarez, said that El Mencho had ordered the hit since the official was a Knights Templar. In September 2014, Congressman Gabriel Gomez Michael was murdered by the CJNG. Michael was the former mayor of El Grulo, a CJNG stronghold in Jalisco that El Mencho may travel through. The murder motive is unknown. The CJNG, Mexico's largest organized crime syndicate, controls territory and many illegal businesses, including the distribution of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. The organization makes money from extortion, avocado farming, cigarette trafficking, and illegal immigration. Despite its many feuds around the nation, it's unlikely to stop expanding. If the reports are accurate, the CJNG's talismanic commander, El Mencho, may die, causing a creeping split. This has downed several CJNG predecessors. His gang, known as the New Generation, has operated for fewer than 10 years since it first came together. According to an article published in 2015 by the Washington Post's John Partlow, it originated from the shattered pieces of another organization known as the Mencho Cartel, and it generates revenue through the sale of firearms, the theft of gasoline, extortion, and kidnapping. It's one of Mexico's most rapidly expanding drug cartels, with operations in several Mexican states and connections to the criminal underground worldwide. Thousands of murders have been associated with the gang. According to a Rolling Stone profile, numerous of them have been directly linked to their boss, El Mencho, who was allegedly a police officer in the past. Lagunas' passing occurs amid a year that is on record to be one of the bloodiest years in Mexico, surpassing all previous. According to Reuters, 20,878 murders, or 69 murders a day, were recorded nationwide, and that's only in the first 10 months of 2017. It's a difficult time and place for anyone, especially a young man living irresponsibly and searching for celebrity status. The news in the paper was titled "The Poisoned Fame of El Pirata," that the man decided to forge a career as a broken toy of online, a route he carved out drink by drink, and that left him with enemies of flesh and blood. The YouTube sensation was even included in Rolling Stone, though not for his fame, but for his passing. He was able to transcend borders. Mecca claimed that murder earned him the popularity he never imagined. Activists criticized the band, singers, and promoters that used the adolescent as a drinking prop in music videos as his notoriety increased. Critics told Univision that the spotlight rewarded his risky behavior and exacerbated a minor's alcoholism. One musician, Luis Adame of Ultimo Escuadron, stated, quote, "There are many people who criticize him, but the reality is that's why El Pirata got started," unquote. Everyone looks for a method to advance in their unique way. In recent interviews, Lagunas demonstrated a sense of acceptance towards his vices. He supposedly had a contract with a record label and intended to pursue a singing career. In a July interview with radio host and producer Pepe Garza, Lagunas admitted that he needed to reduce his drinking. Garza told him, quote, "You drink a lot all at once, and the body isn't intended for that," unquote. Quote, "People frequently inquire about my methods. How do you manage such heavy drinking?" the adolescent replied. The host merely chuckled and remarked, "I don't know how, but they're correct. Sometimes I go too far." He was wished success in his work and urged to rein down his partying so that he can endure many years by the host. Promoter and fellow Instagram celebrity Beto Sierra recalled Lagunas as a happy, upbeat friend after learning of his passing. Sierra recalls telling him to curb his anger and drinking. Sierra stated on Instagram, quote, "He said to me that he wanted to change, but throughout the weekend, there was no shortage of evil influences. I don't judge you. you were living a hurried life. I don't remember you listening. Those who knew you well agree that you were a good person." Unquote. The renowned leader, sought after for several suspected federal offenses, is the subject of a $10 million or 8.5 million pound reward offered by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. The DEA warns the public not to try to capture this guy, warning that he may be armed and dangerous. Rosalinda Gonzalez, El Mencho's wife, was detained by Mexican authorities last year on charges that she was in control of the cartel's finances. After being detained in Zapopan, she was later released on bond. In an interview before his passing with radio host Pepe Garza, Lagunas acknowledged that his behavior was occasionally out of control. He said, "People ask me, how do you do it? How can you manage your excessive drinking? I merely chuckle and declare, I don't know how. But they're right," he continued. "I sometimes overstep my bounds." And that's all for today. We hope this information informed you enough to stay clear of all those drug lords. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, remember to like and subscribe to our channel, CrimeFlicks. We'll see you later.